Have you ever felt like you understand the words, but the meaning just doesn't click? That's the struggle many English learners face with idioms. But don't worry, today we're going to dive into the meaning of one common idiom, on the surface. Let me share a funny story about a time when someone misunderstood this idiom. My friend, who was new to English, thought on the surface meant literally on top of a surface, like a table or a desk. So one day, he was trying to put a book on the table, and he kept saying, "No, no, it has to be on the surface." Of course, that's not what on the surface means at all. The idiom on the surface refers to something that appears or seems a certain way, but may actually be different underneath. It's a figurative expression, not a literal one. Let me give you an example of how to use on the surface correctly. My coworker seemed really happy and positive during the meeting, but I could tell on the surface she was actually feeling stressed and overwhelmed. Now, let's look at some more examples of how to use this idiom in different contexts. In a casual conversation, on the surface, she seems like a really nice person, but I've heard she can be quite rude at times. In a formal setting, the company's financial reports may look good on the surface, but a deeper analysis reveals some concerning trends. In a negative context, on the surface, the politicians' policies sound promising, but there are hidden agendas we need to be aware of. To help you remember the meaning of on the surface, think of an iceberg. On the surface, you only see the tip, but underneath, there's a much larger mass. Similarly, when you say something is on the surface, you're indicating that there's more to it than meets the eye. Now, let's explore some fun facts about this idiom. The idiom on the surface metaphorically highlights the difference between appearance and reality, much like how the surface of water can conceal what lies beneath. The idiom reflects the idea that there is often more to a person or situation than what is immediately apparent. Some similar idioms to on the surface include at first glance, on the face of it, and on the outside. On the other hand, opposites of on the surface could be underneath, beneath the surface, or at a deeper level. Related idioms might include tip of the iceberg or the bigger picture. Let's try rephrasing a sentence using on the surface. Original: the new employee seemed confident and capable during the interview. With on the surface, the new employee seemed confident and capable during the interview, but I'm curious to see how they perform in the actual role. Here's a real-life example of how using on the surface can be effective. My friend was telling me about a coworker who always appeared to be on top of their work, but in reality, they were struggling to keep up. By saying on the surface, they seemed to have it all together, but I know they're actually feeling overwhelmed. My friend was able to convey the full picture. One common mistake people make when using on the surface is to say on the surface of. This is grammatically incorrect. The correct usage is simply on the surface. Another frequent misunderstanding is thinking on the surface means something is literally on top of a physical surface, like in the story I shared earlier. Remember, it's a figurative expression, not a literal one. Let's test your understanding of on the surface with a few quiz questions. 1. What does the idiom on the surface mean? A. Literally on top of a physical surface. B. Appearing a certain way, but potentially different underneath. C. The same as beneath the surface. Correct answer, B. 2. Which of these is a synonym for on the surface? A. At first glance. B. Beneath the surface. C. Tip of the iceberg. Correct answer, A. 3. Which of these is an antonym for on the surface? A. Underneath. B. Deep down. C. On the face of it. Correct answer, A. In summary, on the surface is a common English idiom that refers to something appearing a certain way, but potentially being different underneath. Understanding this idiom can help you communicate more effectively and avoid misunderstandings. Now it's your turn. Share an example sentence using on the surface in the comments. I'd love to hear how you're putting this idiom into practice.